Welcome to the Sleep to Dream Analytics Explainer video, where better sleep starts with better understanding. Have you ever found yourself just staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., wondering, why can't I just fall asleep? It's a feeling most of us know all too well. But what happens when that one frustrating night turns into weeks or even months? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on how medicine approaches this problem, not just as a bad habit, but as a clinical case that needs to be solved. So you walk into your doctor's office and you say, I can't sleep. Sounds simple enough, doesn't it? A pretty straightforward complaint. But in the world of sleep medicine, that little sentence, well, it's the opening line to a really fascinating detective story. That's right. For a clinician, hearing I have trouble sleeping isn't just about a symptom they need to patch up. It's the very first clue that kicks off a full-blown investigation into your sleep, your habits, and really your entire 24-hour day. So let's see how they start piecing this puzzle together. Okay, first things first. We need to get our heads around the fact that the way experts think about insomnia has changed a lot. The old rulebook has basically been tossed out for a much clearer and frankly more effective approach. You see, the way we understand insomnia has had a complete overhaul. In the past, it was kind of a mess. Doctors would try to figure out if your insomnia was primary, meaning it was its own problem, or secondary, like a side effect of depression. It just created a ton of confusion. The modern view, so much clearer. There is just one unified insomnia disorder. It's treated as its own condition, even if you have other health issues going on. And this one simple change makes it way easier to diagnose and, more importantly, to actually treat. So, with this new framework in mind, where does the investigation even begin? It starts with the most powerful tool in the entire process, just talking. Seriously, forget all the high-tech gadgets for a second. The single most important piece of evidence in this whole case comes directly from you. Your story, your experiences, what you're feeling, that's what guides the entire investigation. And this interview isn't just about what happens after you turn the lights out. Oh no, a good sleep detective is investigating your entire 24-hour cycle. They'll ask about the nitty-gritty of your sleep problem, of course, but also about how it's wrecking your day. What's your schedule like during the week versus on the weekend? What are you doing right before bed? What are those thoughts that just race through your mind? And how are you trying to cope? With naps or maybe a little too much coffee? It's all connected. All right, so after listening to your side of the story, the next step is to gather some more objective evidence, just to get a more detailed picture of what's really going on. And this right here is the key piece of evidence, the sleep diary. Now, why is this so important? Well, because our memory, especially about sleep, is terrible. It's just not reliable. A sleep diary, which you fill out every single morning, gives a day-by-day account. It's prospective, meaning you're recording what's happening as it happens, not trying to remember it weeks later. This makes it the most accurate witness you could possibly have. Now, to build an even stronger case, clinicians have a few other tools in their kit. There are standardized questionnaires to measure the impact of your symptoms. There's something called an actigraph. It's basically a watch that tracks your movement and can estimate sleep patterns over a few weeks. And then, of course, there's the one everyone thinks of, the in-lab sleep study. But, and this is a big one, we need to bust a super common myth right now. That overnight lab study, the polysomnography, it is not the standard way to diagnose insomnia. Insomnia is diagnosed based on your experience, your story. Those tests are only used when a clinician suspects something else is going on, like sleep apnea. Okay, the interview is done, the evidence has been collected. Now it's time to see if all these clues actually add up to an official diagnosis. Because here's the thing, just saying I have trouble sleeping isn't quite enough for a formal diagnosis. To make sure everything is consistent and accurate, clinicians use a very specific checklist of official criteria. So let's just quickly walk through this checklist. It starts with the main sleep complaint, right? But, and this is crucial, that complaint has to cause real problems during the day. It also has to be happening a lot and for a long time, at least 3 nights a week for 3 months. And then the clinician has to make sure you're actually giving yourself enough time to sleep and that nothing else, like another disorder or a substance, is the real culprit. All 6 of these boxes have to be checked. So, the case is cracked. You've got an official diagnosis. But that is not the end of the story, not even close. In fact, it's really just the beginning of finding a solution. This is the part where all the pieces come together in what's called a case formulation. And this isn't just the doctor telling you what's wrong. They take all that evidence, your story, the diary, everything, and they work with you to build a theory of your specific case.
It's a team effort that leads to a personalized treatment plan, a strategy built just for you.
And that is the ultimate takeaway here. This whole investigative process, it's not just about slapping a label on your problem. It's about deeply understanding it, the what, the why, and the how. Because getting a clear, thorough assessment is the absolute first step toward finding a clear and effective solution. So, the next time you have a sleepless night, maybe you won't see it as just some kind of personal failing, but more like the first clue in a mystery that can actually be solved. Knowing that this whole process exists, how does that change the way you think about your own sleep? Thank you for watching the Sleep to Dream Analytics Explainer video. We hope you sleep well and dream easy.